Chutes and Ladders WWE Holiday Tour recap. What's going on, everyone? My name is Jason.
Hi, friends. It's Deseree Josen.
All right, our very own Des actually had a VIP experience at a live event. This is actually going to be just a briefing about her experience and everything that kind of came with it. So, Des, give us a recap.
It was awesome. If you can go to any of these fun tours that they do, I highly recommend going. And I was just very fortunate enough to be front row ringside. From what this background was what my seat was. I was row 1, seat 3. And so I was right next to the entrance, right by the stairs where they come up. And WWE does something really cool for their ringside guests. Usually, if you are in the first and second row, they give you some kind of fan experience. I got to do the same thing for Raw last year when they came to Jacksonville. And this time I did the walk the aisle experience. So we got an early entrance on the side. I actually took my brother, Chris, who's never done anything like this before. So I took my other brother for Raw. Thought I'd be nice and take my other brother for this one. And so we got to go to the merch early. We got to do that, so no line. And then we went down to the ring, and you get to walk down the entrance. There's music playing, and you actually get to stand on the ring and get a picture. So, yeah, that was pretty cool. I wanted to live my dream of running down like Warrior and shaking the ropes, and I asked before, and they're like, no, you can't do that. It's a liability.
That's awesome that you asked.
So my dreams were broken. My brother was like, why don't you just ask for forgiveness after? But I was like, I want to actually stay for the show, so I don't want to get kicked out. So, but after that, you get a package. You get a really fun, I guess, partying gift. So you get an autograph. So I got a Bianca Belair autograph. You get like a really cool like WWE collector's coin. And you get a lanyard with a marker, and they give you a little thing, like a sign that says walk the aisle. So when the superstars walk by, you can get their signature. And you get a hat. And yeah, it's just really cool. And I had some surprise interactions with a handful of them that I was not expecting. And what I liked what I did this time was I did not try to look for the match card. I wanted to be surprised for who came out. So the entire time I was shocked and so excited because I didn't know who was going to be at this one compared to Madison Square Garden, which was happening the same night. So a pleasant surprise. I loved it.
That's amazing. All right. Well, and actually curious about that. How much of the card was relevant to current storylines going on right now?
Pretty much all of it. And that's the thing, is that this was not televised, so this was a full-blown house show, which means they can really go do what they want and get away with it because no one's going to know except the local crowd. And so, and I've gone to house shows before where they just try out different championships, they try out different matches and different feuds to get the feel of everything. So I didn't know if they were going to try to do that or if they were going to follow suit and keep the storylines going. And for the most part, it stuck true to the story. And one thing I didn't think to do, since they were doing 2 shows at the same time in New York and Florida, they had a Raw and a SmackDown group. So it didn't hit me that SmackDown was going to be in Tampa that next day on Friday, that I was like, oh, I'm getting the SmackDown people. Duh. So yeah, and it was so much fun, so cool. So
yeah, absolutely. And generally speaking, and I know a lot of times for house shows, they basically do trial runs to see what works, what doesn't, to get to see what pops. So it's actually kind of cool for someone in the audience, especially if they're following along, and say, "Oh, okay, yeah, I did see this last week." So you
Mm-hmm.
kind of have an idea of what's going on, and and hats off to the creative to kind of know to try to get a gauge as far as audience reaction and such like that. So I always thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
All right, talk to talk to our audience about your interaction with the Usos.
Okay, so it was, we were really excited because, we had a feeling that one of the Usos was going to be there just based on the merch. We definitely thought Jay was going to be there. So come to find out, we basically had like a little fun Bloodline Mania match, and we were so excited. So we had a tag match with Jimmy and Jay against Solo and Jacob Fatu, and Tamatonga came out too. And it was wild. The crowd, the whole arena shook. It was insane, especially with Jacob. When he would hit the ring and hit certain spots, the ground shook. So that's how hard he was hitting. But poor Jimmy took a really hard beating for a good 10 minutes before he could hot tag Jey Uso in, which everyone went crazy. But what was cool is Jimmy was literally at my feet, just laying there. So I'm like, this is my chance to talk to him because I don't think I'm going to talk to an Uso. So I bend over and I said, Jimmy, tag me in. Tag me in since you're down. He looks me dead in the eye, straight face, and goes, we want to win the match. And then the guy sitting next to me, my brother starts busting out laughing, and I'm like, oh, I just got burned by an Uso, but I loved it. And then, he's just sitting there just laughing as he's saying it, and I was like, oh my God. So, and then the same thing happened to Jay. He falls out. He's literally at my feet. I don't say the same thing, but I say, you're doing amazing. You're doing great, sweetie. And he just mumbles something under his breath, like, this idiot. So...
Oh, that's awesome. Wow, that's definitely a memorable experience. I can honestly say I don't think I've ever had any type of live interaction during a match. So that's just great.
Yeah. And there was some really cool things that I got to see and the people up close. So all the matches were amazing. And, you never know what you're going to get, but we got to see Bayley come out. And it was Bayley versus Tiffany Stratton. That was the first match. And the crowd exploded for Bayley. And everyone booed Tiffany. And I was the only one jumping up and down ringside for Tiffany, yelling, it's Tiffy time. And, but, Bayley was really great with the crowd. She was really good with the kids. So that kind of turned me a little bit where I'm like, Bayley's not that bad. So, I was cheering them both on. And then what I really liked was there was a 4-way tag match. And I got to see the Motor City Machine Guns.
Nice.
That was cool. I got their shirt and it says on the back.
That's awesome.
And it was so cool because they were standing on my corner and I was trying to like wave and get their attention, but they were so in character and so in the zone. And then I got to see A-Town Down Under. I'm a big fan of Grayson Waller, so that was fun to see him. And DIY were just jerks and talking smack from the very beginning. And the Street Profits, they were cool. They were the crowd favorite, but that was a really cool match. And Nia against Michin. And halfway through, we hear, it's Tiffy time. She runs down with her briefcase trying to cash in. Nia's like, what the hell are you doing? And then Michin pushes Nia onto Tiffany and pushes her out. So,
Oh, all right. That's sounds like the crowd popped for that for sure.
Yeah, we weren't expecting that.
All right, cool. Now that being said, I mean, listen, you obviously seem to have a lot of fun. Would you say it's worth paying for?
100%. Yes. I say if you can go to any show, go regardless of what seat you have because you're going to get a fun experience. and you're going to make lots of friends and see a lot of old friends, and you never know what's going to happen and who you're going to see walking around while you're waiting in line. So I say go for it. If you have the extra cash, I say go with ringside, because you do get this fun extra little bit. I will be honest, it's $500 per ticket, which sounds like a lot, and it is a lot, but what you get, you really get your money's worth in your experience. So anytime I can grab a front row seat, I'm getting it. And my special treat was Cody Rhodes. He was the main event. He had a cage match with Kevin Owens, who had a big old tantrum saying he had to be specially introduced with his Winged Eagle title, as we're screaming, "That's not your title!" And what's cool, and in true Cody fashion, how he is, he ends the match, speaking to the crowd, having fun with us, and he goes to everyone ringside and takes pictures and signs autographs. So I stayed an extra 20 minutes and got to meet Cody Rhodes and tell him, thanks for coming, glad you came, and I got a picture with him and an autograph, and he was just the coolest guy, so sweet, and that just completely made my night. So
that's awesome. Well, no, that sounds amazing, and it definitely sounds like it was worth it.
Yeah.
All right, so Annie, what are your overall final thoughts?
I loved it. And apparently our viewers really loved it, because I took just a couple of videos just for fun for me personally. And I was like, well, let's share it with some of our viewers. Maybe they'll like it. Y'all liked it a lot. So the next time I will make sure to take more videos. But if you want to see more pictures, just go to our Instagram and check it out. And, who knows? We'll be at the next main event too. So, yeah.
Sounds wonderful. All right, that actually wraps up this episode. Listen, tell us about some of your experiences. Please DM us at the Chutes and Ladders. Like always, please like, share, and subscribe both on YouTube and Spotify. Once again, my name is Jason.
I'm Deseree Josen.
All right, until next time, have a blessed day and a blessed week.
Bye, friends.